I'm gay conservative. So what? That doesn't even make grammatical sense, you fucking morons.
Ah, shit. I've run across this secular talk fanboy before underneath progressive voice videos in the comments section. This is gonna be a painful video to get through because Tim Horn, like too many secular talk fanboys, has no shortage of douchebaggery towards anyone who will merely disagree with him on over half of the issues. So let's get this out of the way.
Also, right off the bat, with the title alone, you bring up identity politics when you claim to be against it.
A bit of a botched understanding of identity politics. Identity politics would be politics and just political beliefs in general based around one's own identity, be it racial, sexual orientation, or gender. And in the case of beliefs, if a person, like plenty of other leftists, say that you must be a liberal or hold this belief because of your identity, like you must be a liberal if you're black, otherwise you're an Uncle Tom or whatever else have you, just for example, well then that is playing identity politics right there. And this guy right here, he's actually playing anti-identity politics because he is defying the stereotype of what a gay person supposedly ought to be, and that is a left-leaning liberal.
Also, conservatism is against gays, so why on earth would you want to be a conservative when they're openly hostile to you?
Has it ever occurred to you that a person can be conservative on some issues but not conservative on others and still overall be conservative? Or maybe a conservatarian, conservative libertarian in other words, just like me? I mean, perhaps Mr. Benson is libertarian when it comes to sex rights and possibly even drug rights, but conservative when it comes to issues like immigration, abortion, and economics, as he will clearly explain later in this video.
Also, I found out the guy was born in Saudi Arabia, which is one of the most conservative countries in the world that is deeply homophobic and would kill you if you were back there.
As Ted Cruz had said to Bernie Sanders in his debate against him, conservative is relative. If, say example, me and a Bernie bro here from the United States moved to the UK, I couldn't call myself a conservative there because it is not of the ideal system that I want set up there in the UK. Because I want to change it. I don't want to conserve and preserve the UK as the way it is set up, alright? And the social democrat Bernie bro would be more of the conservative at that point, in UK standards anyways. American conservatives are not defending Saudi Arabian conservatism of whether that they butcher homosexuals just for being homosexuals, alright dude? Well, except for maybe Nick Fuentes.
Well, hey, and maybe there's something to the conservatism of some of the Muslim countries.
Here we go. Off the mic.
Some unimaginative leftists like to claim that this qualifies me as a self-hating gay person. This is so boring.
But that is fact, though. If you are a Christian and gay, you are self-hating. Sorry, but as your daddy Ben Shapiro said before, facts don't care about your feelings.
These aren't facts though, these are just opinions. Opinions of your own tight and unnuanced definition of what you think a conservative is.
Conservatives are against gays, along with your religion. So when me and my fellow progressives point that out, we are stating the very obvious fact. And you can't dodge that by making a stupid point that, it's boring.
I don't know if Tim Horn actually thinks that that is an actual argument, or if he is just giving snark in response to Benson's snark of saying, this is so boring, but I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this. But like I said earlier, you can be conservative on most issues whilst also not being conservative on some other issues like sex rights. And B, you do realize that there are other interpretations of the Bible, right? And what is considered a sin and what is not considered a sin, right? I'm going to link down below my usual video making the case for why it's possibly not a sin to be homosexual. And I'm also forgetting to mention the fact that you could be a conservative by philosophy but a libertarian in practice. In other words, you're a libertarian in practice in that you don't want any laws to get involved in homosexuality, for example, but by philosophy, you think that it would be best if nobody was homosexual.
Just like any conservative, I want taxes low, the military strong, and don't even get me started on single-payer healthcare or late-term abortion.
Okay, so now not only am I gonna debunk you for being a conservative, Christian, gay motherfucker, but I'm also gonna debunk you on policy too. Okay, here we go. First off, taxes already are at their lowest point in decades.
You completely avoided his point. He said that he wants taxes low. He did not say that they are not currently low.
Before even Trump did his tax bill.
Bullshit! From 1988 through 1990, marginal income tax rates were at 28%, whereas throughout most of the Bush Jr. years and the beginning Obama years, those same income tax rates were at 35%.
Which, by the way, raised taxes on the middle class and poor, and 80 to 90% of the cuts and the gains are going to go to the rich.
Yeah, and the guy did not say that he wants to make an exception for middle class and poor folk for as far as who gets a tax cut goes. But aside from that, what you said was bullshit and you know it. The middle class and the poor are going to get an income tax cut along with the rich. You know, you would actually have more of a point if you was to mention the little caveat as to how the middle class and poor, their particular tax cuts are going to get expired in all eventuality. But no, you did not decide to mention that little snag right there. Instead, you decided to say what you said and you just come off as completely dishonest, dude.
Also, when the country was at its best economically, it's when the taxes were at their highest.
That is completely too much of a black and white view on our tax history. While yes, income taxes were at their highest for the top marginal rate back during the 50s and 60s, we also did not have as many of the other types of taxes that we do nowadays. And also, throughout a good portion of the years of the first half of our country's existence, we did not have near as half of the taxes that we have existing today in our country.
The rich and corporations are getting away with outright tax invasion, as the poor and the middle class has to take in the burden, which they can't afford to do so.
I'm sure you have some very compelling evidence to back up these claims and a massive list of sources. Oh.
Also, Republicans are the party of tax raising, not tax cuts. Just like Trump's bill recently, that raised taxes on everyone who isn't making over $75,000.
Refer to my earlier statement about the Trump tax cut. Also, I think I'm going to just skip through the majority of Tim's own claims here, especially for the ones that I haven't heard of until now, because just a whole lot of these he does not back up. Otherwise, I'm going to just end up playing the teal deer meme a million times over in this video response.
Also, we have the strongest military in the world.
Again, completely missed the point that he was making there.
It's already strong. Obama didn't weaken it like you retards claimed he did so.
Citation needed.
In fact, not only did it increase under his watch,
Okay, that's simply bullshit. Link down below for the article that I am highlighting here.
we're still bombing indiscriminately in other countries.
What the fuck? Why are you even... why are you even mentioning this retarded ass non sequitur right here? He said that he wanted a strong military. He didn't say that he wanted it to be abused to like bomb indiscriminately a whole bunch of innocent civilians. That's some retarded ass argument that you just pulled out of your ass there, Tim Horn. That's about as retarded as if, say, rhetorically, I say that I want a big gun and somebody comes up to me and say, but big guns kill kids. Even though I didn't say in that rhetorical statement that I want to kill kids with that big gun at all.
Half of Americans make under $30,000 or less.
The median household income is over $60,000, you pessimistic idiot. I don't know where the fuck you get $30,000 from.
Also, single-payer healthcare is more efficient and costs less.
More efficient despite their longer wait times and the fact that we actually do better in cancer treatment in comparison to most other countries in the modern world. And more affordable. No shit, it's more affordable when you, the individual American, are being given healthcare services free of charge.
Right now, With our current private healthcare, we would spend $49 trillion over 10 years. If we did Bernie's Medicare for all, we would only spend $32 trillion. We would save $17 trillion over 10 years by going to a Medicare for all system.
What the fuck are you talking about? No, the federal government would end up spending an additional $30 trillion over the next 10 years if we adopted such a plan. If you're meaning to refer to the national healthcare expenditure, then that is irrelevant because fiscal conservatism is not the government helping private individual citizens with expenses. Fiscal conservatism is the government trying to get under control its own spending and attaining and maintaining a balanced budget, fuckface.
We are more fiscally conservative than the supposed fiscal conservatives.
Yeah, and pigs fly.
And no longer will we have 45,000 people dying a year and people going bankrupt for medical bills being the number one reason. This is not debatable. You right-wingers are wrong on this subject, and that's the end of it. Medicare for all is the answer, so shut the fuck up and get out of the way.
How about no and you just go fuck yourself, you entitled dickhead?
And then late-term abortions, that's almost non-existent.
Honestly, if he's a self-proclaimed pro-life conservative, I don't know why Benson isn't for banning abortion for much earlier than that. I'm not gonna address here in full all of Tim's rhetoric on abortion. Instead, I'm gonna link a more fleshed out video of mine where I already did do that, along with a few other arguments on abortion. By the way, I'm actually not trying to defend Benson or PragerU. Neither of them do I care much about. I'm actually here defending the right-wing principles being espoused in this video. It's just that a lot of the stuff that Tim is saying is a bunch of non sequiturs and or bullshit that keeps raising a big old red flag in my head.
And also, 90% of late-term abortions are because of either rape, incest, life of the mother, fatal fetal defect. And in those circumstances, you should never be against abortion, you fucking regressive retard.
Go jack yourself off with sandpaper, asshole.
Life of mother, most pro-lifers believe an exception on that case. As far as incest goes, unless we are going to come to the conclusion that it is okay to kill inbreds when they're outside of the womb, I don't see the justification for why it should be okay for us to kill them inside the womb. As far as rape goes, it ain't gonna undo the rape once you abort the rape baby, and it is not the baby's fault that the mother did get raped. So no, go fuck yourself.
And stop comparing fetuses, gametes, and zygotes to humans. It's not the same thing.
Are you gonna make an argument to back that up, buddy?
Also, I wanted to let everyone know, off topic,
No? I guess not then.
You see, some on the left believe that they're entitled to control the thoughts or votes of certain groups of people.
and likewise conservatives do that too. I am regularly told by conservatives all the time online and on PragerU's comment section too that they are going to try and control my life and what I vote for.
If that's the exact verbatim of what they say, well then it sounds too ridiculous that I can't imagine it not being a Poe.
And if I don't vote conservative, they'll just try and use the voter ID laws against me too, which has been proven that is the case among minorities and the poor, which you conservatives are for.
No, it's not written on the legislation that these laws are explicitly only for this race or that race. And when I go reading about liberals' opinions on these Republican proposed voter ID laws, the only thing that they could call is like whistleblowing, which is kind of what I presume for you to trying to be get at here, Tim Horn, which I'm not even necessarily defending these voter ID laws right now that may or may not go a little bit too far. I'm just dismissing all these accusations of racist whistleblowing or there being like an explicitly racist agenda behind these pieces of legislation right here as bullshit in regards of voter ID laws proposed.
And you're also hypocrites too. You are the anti-sex group. PragerU has done numerous videos trying to say that sex is evil and wrong and try to control people not to do so when that is not at all possible, nor is it the right thing to do.
Okay, just to clarify, I fully admit that some conservatives look to literally control people's sex lives. But are they really saying that some practices of sex should be regulated or even outright banned? Or are they just saying how they think people ought to live? Because advocating for government legislation on something versus giving advice on what you think is the best lifestyle for people on that certain something are two completely different things.
You want to control things that you don't like either. So stop spewing this bullshit. Because unlike you, I and much of the left do want you to be able to do what you want in your interests and hobbies.
Yeah, except for when it comes to gun rights, business rights, and soda taxes.
What's the phrase again? Live and let live?
Which you conservatives don't believe in, as I am regularly told by retards on your own channel that they're going to try and stop me from enjoying monster trucks, Pokemon, anime, NFL, all my hobbies. They're telling me they're going to try and stop me from enjoying.
What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. I have never, ever heard of any conservative advocating for the banning of monster trucks, anime, and Pokemon. And as far as the NFL goes, they aren't advocating for the banning of the NFL. At most, all they're advocating for is the boycotting of it.
Like I said, I'm a Christian, a patriotic American, and a free market, shrink the government conservative who happens to be gay. That's how I choose to rank my priorities.
And here is the part of the video that I thought was going to be much more emphasized. So, in this group, you categorize yourself number 1 as a Christian. Well, guess what, you stupid fucking retard? Christianity is against your very existence.
Saying that someone's practice is a sin is not the same as saying that they should die.
You are a hypocrite and a sinner according to the Holy Book.
Okay, this is really bugging me. Tim, throughout this entire video, keeps on misusing the word hypocrite. Throughout this entire video, Guy Benson has not expressed any kind of rules for thee but not for me kind of attitude, dude. So calm the fuck down.
Look at your face. You're cleanly shaved. That is also a sin in the Bible. You cannot shave. And I wouldn't be surprised by the clothes you're wearing that it's a mix of different fabrics, which is also a sin. The Bible promotes slavery, genocide, rape, pro-abortion too, which you guys fervently deny, but it's in there. You're supposed to sell off your daughter if she's raped. You're supposed to kick your wife out of the house when she's on her period. Women are supposed to cover up just like in Islam. And if you don't worship on the Sabbath, which is Sunday, you should be executed.
Assertions! Assertions everywhere, and not a single shred of evidence to be found.
What verses are you talking about? What verses? Cite the verses. Come on, show me. What verses are you talking about? Like, I may know roughly what verses that he is referring to here, but I still need receipts, dude, for me to know the full context of what you're talking about. And in regards to what you mostly just said there, most of that is a sin according to the Old Covenant, and as these verses show that I am flashing up on the screen here, the Old Covenant is no longer valid, and we are under a new one.
So Christianity, like Islam, also advocates killing apostates. So by your own religion's logic, I should be killed because I'm an atheist.
No, you fucking moron. Jesus explicitly said that he was without sin cast the first stone. So therefore, we would be sinning if we were to execute you or anyone else just because of said sins.
Christianity is also anti-sex.
No, fuck it. Just no. I can't take it anymore. I can't take any more of the baseless assertions. The fat fucking incel looking motherfucker is pretty much done with this video anyways. I know there's a lot I've left unresponded to, particularly towards the end there, but as atheist figurehead Christopher Hitchens once said, that which can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. I'm the Dark Conservatarian. Good night and Godspeed.